Welcome, I'm the Deadwood Jedi, and this is another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm actually borrowing the account of a fellow streamer, Massive Attack, and we're in his... I'll get this right one of these days. We're in his account today because he has a couple champions that I have had zero luck getting. Now, there's a bunch of new champions that have been dropped in the game. Seemingly every month there's new champions coming in. I have not gotten the best luck in pulling them all, so... I've had to go into other people's accounts to be able to showcase them a little bit, and one of the champions I want to look at today is one of the ones I think most people are very, very excited about. I know I was when I first saw his kit, and then immediately got very, very disappointed once I figured out how he actually works. So we're going to take a look here today at Anax. Now, Anax, I think, is just an amazing champion. He's got a really great kit, but unfortunately, because of some of the stuff in his kit, he's only going to work in certain scenarios with your team. So you're going to want to be aware that that's the spoiler warning here. But this is Anax. Now, Anax is a really, really good champion. If we look at his skills here, you can see on his A1, he has a chance on his A1 to land decreased defense. And it's a 2-hit attack, and each hit has that 35% chance when booked. You put sniper on him, it comes with a 40% chance. That's a real good, consistent decreased defense debuff he's going to be putting on. Single target, though. His A2, also single target. Chance to put on decreased accuracy as well as poison debuff. And these are 3-turn debuffs, which are great. That means it's going to last you pretty much a whole fight. Really, really nice. It books up to 100% chance to land those, so that's some real nice utility on the edge there. And then the last one is also single target. But he's going to place a weakened debuff for 2 turns. And he's going to heal himself by 50% of the damage he does. So some really cool stuff there. Now, obviously, when you're bringing decreased defense, weaken, and poison, everybody thinks clan boss, the perfect spot to bring this champion in. And I can't disagree. I think he's amazing for clan boss, but only with the right team. Because if we look at his passive here, 60% increased defense buff on this champion when their HP drops below 75%. Increase attack buff when HP drops below 50%. Both those are really nice things to have. The one thing that's not so great is this last ability. Grants an extra turn when this champion's HP drops below 10%. What does that mean? That means Anax, all the wonderful things that he brings to your clan boss team, he's not going to work for any unkillables that involve Sir Nicholas or Maneater, or give him the ability to drop below 10% HP. It's just going to be an issue. Now, if you want to take Anax into a traditional clan boss team, I think he's going to be fantastic for that. You want to bring him into a tower warcaster team that blocks damage, he's going to be fantastic for that. But you try to bring him into a Maneater team, it's just not going to work. And it's not to say that it can't work, but you need to know the exact turn when that passive activates, when his HP drops below 10%. And that's just really hard to do. I've tried to figure out how to use this guy in my calculator, and I'm hopeful in the next month or so I'm going to be able to get some coding in there so that we can actually find a way to incorporate that that active passive into the calculator. But I haven't been able to do that just yet. And so in the meantime, I know there's lots of people that have tried to use Anax for the Bat Eater composition, for example. He does not work on Ultra Nightmare. Now, my understanding is he can actually work on Nightmare. He can work on Brutal because of the speeds that are involved at those different level of difficulties. But guaranteed on Ultra Nightmare, he is not going to work. So keeping those things in mind, I still think he's a phenomenal champion. If you run a Batman composition, which is like a tower and a warcaster going at a 2-1 ratio, Anax is going to be great for you. Same thing if you run a white whale with Mashalad and Tower and Warcaster, he's going to work great for you there. He's just not going to work great when you're running the Bat Eater team. So just keep that kind of stuff in mind. He won't work good for the budget Maneater team. He'll work good if you have a Valkyrie. He's actually going to work really well for a long, long time until the shield breaks and his HP starts to get really, really low. But basically, it's just the unkillable teams where he's not going to be great at. So keeping that in mind, some of the great stuff about his kit, all these skills, 3-turn cooldowns. That means he's going through that every clan boss cycle, really top notch on that. And let's look at the masteries chosen here. Now, some of these, this actually I think is a pretty darn good build, right? You've got him coming pretty much down to, let me get a little bit out of the way, pretty much down here. Let's try this. You got him coming down here to War Master, right? Which is exactly what you want on this champion. Single hits, double hits, not worth taking Giant Slayer for, but you do want those procs for the clan boss. And then on the other side of things, you got him going down the support tree. Give him a little bit more accuracy. Most importantly, get Sniper so that decreased defense has a better chance to land, and Master Hexer so the decreased defense of the weekend can extend a little bit longer. I think those are actually good choices. Also, those poisons are 3-turn debuffs, so if you get a little extension, then you can start kind of stacking those up a little bit, which is really nice. Now, obviously, the decrease actually doesn't help us for clan boss. Not something that we need. It can be useful though if you want to try. If you don't want to try and block the debuffs from the Affinity clan boss, you just want to try and resist them. Decreased accuracy is actually going to be really helpful for that. So he actually might be a really good choice if you're a lower level player and you don't have a block debuffer like a Sepulchre Sentinel or Grizzle Jarl, or you don't have a cleanser like Steel, well, not really Steel Skull, like Battle Khazar or Doom Priest. You bring Anax in is not a bad idea. Placing that decreased accuracy on the clan boss so that when they try to put the slow on you, the decreased accuracy on you, the decreased attack on you, it doesn't work. That's actually not a bad way to go about it. So I built him. I just put a couple little extra sets on him. He was mostly built ahead of time. I didn't go too in deep in switching him up. But we have him up to 219 speed, and I basically just did that in case we want to toss him in a Bad Eater team. So I'm going to use this here for Arena, I'm going to use this here for the Dungeons, and I'm going to take some of that off and I'm going to stick him into a double Man Eater team. So you can kind of see both how he works on Clan Boss, but also why he won't work in every composition. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's take him over to Dragons and start there. Okay, so this is a pretty, kind of an interesting team here. It's got the Seer nuke kind of build. We're gonna go ahead and switch that up. I'll bring Battle Khazar in just so we can get a little bit of healing, and then we're gonna go ahead and bring in Anax so we can see how he works on the clan or on the dragon here, I guess you'd say. So let's go ahead and yeah, that's fine. Don't care about that. We'll see how this goes. Now Anax, from what I've seen in other content creators' videos, he can hit pretty darn hard. So I'm really interested to kind of see exactly what he can do here. So we get that decreased defense out. Failed miserably on that. Okay, cool. These are all single target attacks though, so I'm not too concerned about that. Let's try and get this weakened. Let's try and see what we can do. He is a green affinity champion, so these are going to be weak affinity attacks. So it's definitely going to lessen the damage, and weak hits are going to mess it up. But you can see 48k, the guy can hit very hard. And I think that is kind of like the deal with him we want to be aware of, is he's a hard-hitting champion. Let's see, decrease attack all enemies. Let's just get a block buffs out there so they don't speed up. That's fine, we'll just do whatever. This is a really weak affinity team for a dragon. I maybe should have brought him in the Fire Knight. Let's see what else we can get on going here. Alright, so here we go. Now we got the A2 hit. Kind of want to see how this does. Decrease accuracy and a poison, right? So let's see here. Boom. 60k, you know, 2 hits, both doing about 30,000 damage. Not too shabby. Obviously, with the add weaken to that, it's going to make it a considerably stronger hit. But yeah, these are pretty decent hits, I'd say. Nothing game-breaking by any means, but pretty interesting. So we're going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit here. Just kind of see where things go. Now, let's see what else he can do. This is A1 attack here, right? So let's see. Hit. There you go. So 30k on each one. Not horrible, not great. Does land that decreased defense. And yeah, kind of can do some work. Doesn't seem like the strongest hitter in the world. I got him built up pretty strong as far as crit rate, crit damage. Attack, I think, is at a good spot here. So I do feel like he's, you know, pretty sturdy. You can see there 30k on that attack. I'm not seeing a lot that's like screaming out this guy's gonna be wrecking shop without like just some crazy gear on him. But definitely seems like a solid hitter. I would say definitely on par with somebody like Fane, who's also a champion that you know, a lot of people using Clan Boss to a lot of effect. And obviously weak affinity here isn't helping. Let's see if we can just bring him into the Fire Knight team. I don't think he's a great Fire Knight champion. In fact, if I'm honest with you guys, I don't think he's, you can see like 32,000 on that. Not horrible. That was his A2 ability. Seems like that's the prioritized one. A3 right there did pretty decent work. So that is interesting. We do want to pay attention to that. Which skill is he going to use on auto the most or first? And from that, it looked like his A2 was the prioritized skill. So we're going to just kind of manual. I want him to be able to get those skills back off cooldown so we can see exactly what he's going to use first when he attacks. This time, we'll go ahead and get the increased attack buff from Arbiter. That's always significant when you're talking damage-wise. Not something I always recommend doing just to test, but we can go ahead and put that on. And then let's see what skill he uses on auto. Yeah, so he's going to use that A2 skill with the decreased accuracy and the poison. And there you can see that A3 does pretty good damage, 85,000. That's nothing to scoff at. The guy can do some work, definitely. 40k, 50k on that first attack. Increased attack buff is really strong. All right. Yeah. So one of the issues I know already, like he's a single target hitter, so he's not good for dungeon waves. He's not going to be great for Doom Tower. I don't think those are places you're going to want to bring him in at all. Now, he's good against bosses, so if you need to bring him in for a Doom Tower boss, I could see that for sure. But I don't see him being especially good for just normal Doom Tower work. So here we go. Let's kind of just plow through this here. We're just going to go ahead and use the A1, get a couple extra hits, break that shield. Always key. There we go. All right. Speed us up. Yeah, sure. Fine. All right, so at this point, let's go ahead and drop that weaken on. 70,000. Not terrible. Definitely not bad. All right. Drop that. Let's go ahead and wait just a smidge. And let's see, we get that poison and decreased accuracy. Again, 30k, 40k, those are solid hits. Like, the guy definitely can do some damage. I don't think I would ever call him a damage dealer, but he can do some work for you, I think, which is pretty nice to have. Get that speed up. Your speed, and then his A1. Almost 50k off that A1. If an A1 can hit that hard, that's a pretty good start. Yeah, that's not so bad. So I don't really see him being great for any of the dungeon runs. Like, for that, you usually want good AoE stuff or like really big hits. He hits pretty good, and for an epic champion, fantastic. But I don't think we're talking like legendary status here. So okay, let's go. We got his A3. Let's try this out. We can go ahead and take out. Let's see if we can't take out Arbiter. 70k, no problem. I don't know that this is necessarily the toughest team we're ever going to face either, so it might not be the best gauge as far as like how good or strong he is personally with that. But I don't see this being the spot for him. To be a really good single target damage dealer in Arena, you have to hit hard, get extra turns, and be incredibly effective. I mean, he hits hard. He puts Sir Nick in a pretty big hole there. Now, obviously, Gold 4 is kind of broken, so you never really know how strong the champions you're facing are. We'll do this one. He's got a Syl the Drake and a Martyr. Those are usually two very tough champions, so we'll get a good judge here. See if he can't put Syl down in one shot or not. Get that decreased defense and weaken, and let's see what we do here. Pretty good. I mean, took him... health is 0 basically right now. So it's not a bad place to start, for sure. I don't need to see any more. He is what he is. Solid single target damage dealer. Not going to be great. AoE, not going to be great for Arena. Not going to be great for Dungeons. Not that he's bad in either one. He does what he does. He hits hard. Has some good debuffs. But they're on separate skills. Okay, guys, so I did a quick regearing. Don't have him at a perfect 100% crit rate anymore, but still pretty good. 96%, 227, 233 accuracy should be plenty, and 208 speed. So that's going to be the perfect speed. We're going to actually drop him in for Vizier. I think that's going to be our best bet here. Not that that's always the way to go, but I think that'll be good because he's going to put the debuffs on. We'll get to see how often, how quickly those happen, and shouldn't be any issue. Now, I have never run this team before in my life, so I kind of have no idea. This is like a really fast double man-eater team. Just to give you guys an idea, since I'm here with you, if you come to my website, go up here to Speed Tunes, go down here to Unkillable. You can see there is a list of unkillable teams, and obviously you can find whatever you like in there. But we have a variety of double man-eater builds that you can get them at different speeds, for example. So we can look here, this double man-eater. I believe this is the one that we're going to be running right here. Okay, guys, as you can see, I did plug this into the calculator here, this double man-eater team, and you can see once we get the unkillable up right here, it does become, everybody seems to be unkillable all the way through. Starting here, turn 4, we're going to be perfectly unkillable. Just turn 1 looks like the only time that we're really vulnerable to it. So pretty simple setup. Just got to wait till end of turn 2 for the second man-eater. For the fast one, or for the slow one, I should say, and the first one can put it up. So pretty simple build, pretty easy setup. Let's go ahead and do the run here. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do this run. Double man-eater team, so we should see all the pros and cons of Anax. A lot of ally attacks, crit damage increases, all that. It's definitely going to up the damage totals that we're using right now, but should still be pretty good example of what this guy can do for us and what he can't do for us, which is in some ways just as important. So we can go ahead. I'm just going to let these guys kind of auto their stuff to start. That decreased defense on the A1 is a really nice ability. When you have counterattack or you have ally attack like we do here, it's really very nice. All right, get that A1 going. Go ahead and click auto again. All right, getting some poisons out there for sure. Always good. Get that A1. Okay, and then at this point we can full on auto, and I think we should be pretty good. I think we're vulnerable on turn count 5 or so, but otherwise we should be pretty straight. There goes decrease. All right, so let's see kind of what kind of damage we're doing here. Weak hit, still 34k even with the weak hit is pretty solid. Hard to get upset at that. It's hard to see on those ally attacks, but it looks like about 78k coming from him. There you go, 2 hits, 70,000, 60,000, basically 150,000 off that A2, that's good. That's a significant amount of damage. There you go. You can see that A1 dropping 75, 85,000. Anax can smack. I mean, I don't know what it is, but he looks more impressive to me here on Clan Boss than on the dungeons, damage-wise. 132,000 with that A3 skill. Definitely a good champion. That's a lot of damage. That's a significant amount of damage. That's the kind of damage where I really wish I could bring him in a bad eater team, because now you're talking like 1 key. 44k on that A1, or the A2 looked like, without the increased attack buff. Those buffs he's getting definitely have a major impact, but you notice he has increased defense, he has increased attack on himself. Those are the passive skills he has because of the level of HP that he currently has on him. And pretty soon here you're going to see what happens when he goes down to 0 HP, or goes under 10%. When he's under 10%, he gets that extra turn. When that happens, it's going to completely throw off the tune, because he's going to get an extra turn. All that built up turn meter, you see that yellow bar there? All that's built up turn meter. When he takes his extra turn, when that passive procs, that turn meter drops back to 0. And then the tune begins. So there's that extra turn right there. You can see his turn meter is now the lowest on this team. That happening at the wrong time. It also burned through one of those unkillable buffs. He's now no longer unkillable, and he's vulnerable to whatever attacks might come. Not to mention, it's probably thrown off the tune of the rest of the champions, so the man-eaters might not go at the right time, and we might be looking at a complete wipe here. So we're going to have to kind of pay attention to see. Looks like staying in tune. I'm sure there are some specific tunes, speed tunes, where he's going to be just fine. He's going to stay in tune, won't be an issue. But we need to pay attention to those, because it could be a problem, right? Who takes the stun, that can affect it, because it's not going to activate it one turn or another. It's not just about, because I'm pretty sure it's like when his HP drops below 10% that becomes active. So I'm actually really curious to see how this all plays out here. I'm just kind of constantly waiting for him to take that extra turn and screw up the entire tune. There you go. Here comes that extra turn. Boom. You see his turn meter drops to 0, and now everybody else's turn meter goes. So looks like it's not horrible yet, but he's not unkillable anymore. There it goes. And see, that's the problem. Is because of that, he took an extra turn there. His unkillable fell off of him. Is going to be one turn short. This turn, it's going to fall off. And he's probably going to get wiped. Unless somebody else takes a stun. Yep, and there he goes. And that's the problem with Anax on clan boss teams, is that extra turn is going to burn through the buffs that he has. So if he has unkillable up, it's going to burn through it. He's going to be amazing, though, for block damage teams. If you got Tower Warcaster, you want Anax. Like, that dude's going to be dope. He brings everything you need. Brings some poisons, brings you decreased defense, brings you weaken. Those are things that you definitely want. So, overall, good champ. Excellent for clan boss, just not every team. I think Anax is a great champion for some people, some teams. If you're struggling at early levels, I think he's going to be fantastic for you. The extra turns are only extra turns. Those are bonuses, not detriments. At the higher levels, when you're finally starting to speed tune, he's going to be good if you have a block damage team or you have a Valkyrie really preventing a lot of the damage. I think Anax can be a really good addition to your squad. For any of those Man-Eater teams or Sir Nicholas teams, obviously this is not going to be the champion that you're going to want to bring into because he will throw off your speed tune. That said, I think he looks amazing. He's got that kind of undead immortal Persian warrior type of thing going on with the double sickles and the gold armor. I really like him. I think he's a lot of fun. I really wish I'd pulled him on my account. That said, massive thanks to Massive Attack for letting me get on his account and use Anax. I thought that was really nice of him to be able to let me do that. I will have a link to his Twitch channel down below in the description. Make sure and go check it out, guys. Really nice dude. I think you'll have a lot of fun on his channel. As always, you can catch me on Twitch. I'm on there 4 days a week now. I alternate Fridays and Sundays as well as Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And, you can check out my Twitter. You can keep looking at the YouTube. I'm starting to drop some polls and different fun things in here in between videos. But yeah, guys, a pleasure as always. Till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.